Hi everybody, Charlotte here from Not Too Shabby by Charlotte in the UK, and in today's video I'm going to walk you through all the different grey shades in the Fusion Mineral Paint range just to help you choose the perfect shade for your project. I know how difficult it can be when you're looking at colours on screen. If you watched all my videos, I'm sorry I'll repeat myself a little bit in the introduction, but some people may just go straight for one particular video, so I want to make sure they get all the information. Now, it's really important to choose your colours in your room because you're going to have different lighting, maybe synthetic lighting or natural lighting. Depending on what bulbs you've got, you may have slightly blue tinged light, yellow light, white light, and these kind of things will all affect how your colour reads in your environment. In addition to that, what other colours you have in your room will affect your perception of how those colours look to you, what colour your carpet is, your walls is, your furniture, your accessories, etc. So it's a really great idea to finally choose your colours in your room before you make a commitment to which one you go with. And you can choose your colour in one of three ways. You can, or maybe there's a fourth way actually. You can buy the Fusion True to Colour cards. You can buy those off my website. They're just $2.99 with free postage. You can buy, we have small tester pots, which I can show you. Let's grab one. We have tiny little tester pots which you can use to, they're great project pots if you just want to paint a photo frame or something, but they're also great if you just want to try your colour before you commit to buying a large size pot. And then you can buy fan decks. So these swatches here in my hand are taken out of one of these fan decks, and these fan decks are brilliant. They have the full range of Fusion Mineral Paint colours in them, in much larger swatches that you can spin around, take apart, do whatever you want with. They're great for consultations, for comparing against, for putting next to things in your room, sort of matching the right grey of my t-shirt if I wanted to match that kind of jazz. And also they have, as well as the full Fusion Mineral Paint range, they have the Fusion Mineral Paint metallics, and they also have at the end 50 additional recipes. I think it might even be more than 50. Let's have a look. They are numbered. No, exactly 50. No, recipe 54. 54 additional recipes at the back of this fan deck, which you just need to buy two colours and mix them together, either 50-50, so even parts of each colour, or you buy a full-size jar and a tester and mix those together, and they are the two simple, super-duper easy ways of creating there's additional colours in the back. So there's millions of colours out there, isn't there? There's always more colours that you might need. So those recipes just give you a few more options. So there, quick super duper introduction. Let's dive into talking about the greys. Now, a couple of these colours here, I have already, if you've looked at my neutrals, creams, taupes kind of video, some colours might cross over. For example, when I come to do my blue and my green videos, some colours are in the middle of that. I might include them in my blue and in my green video because it depends on how you're going to use them, how they're going to work in your scheme. And in the same way here, there are a couple of colours here in the grey that I have included in my neutral video because some people may want to have a slightly grey toned neutral. So you will see that some colours feature more than once in these videos. So for example, picket fence and casement are the two whites that we do. Bright white, so picket fence is a bright white, our truest white, and casement is so very similar, but just slightly warmer, slightly softer, not as stark. And they were the first two colours that I talked about in my neutral video, but I've also included them here because I think it's really important to show you when you put these on their own, the palest greys, they might look like true whites, but when you put them next to a bright white, you can see that they've got that slight depth of colour to them. And it's just, I've included them in here because it's really helpful as contrast to help them read on screen. Now, these colours may not come across perfect on the screen. Who knows what my camera is like, what your screen is like, but hopefully me talking them through will give you an idea of the undertones, the different levels, to help, you know, just to give you an idea where to start when you're picking a colour. So hopefully it's helpful. So yeah, picket fence and casement. And then next is parchment. So parchment is very almost white. It's just got the slightest green tones to it, which is a new colour that's been added to the range. And you might not think that you need a slightly green toned white, but for some projects you will do. And Fusion makes sure that they have the colour for every eventuality. And so if you are pairing a white with some of the greens in our range, then this one will sit with it really harmoniously, really perfectly. It won't clash. And so, yeah, that's what that one is for. Can't make it any more complicated than that. Okay, so then next we've got lamp white. So this, again, it looks quite grey on the swatch, but I've used this colour. And en masse, it just looks like white, but it is a very cool white. So it's going to give you, you're not going to want, if you've got a nice lovely grey scheme, you're not going to want a yellow toned white or a pink toned white. They're going to clash, they're going to look weird, they're not going to look like they match. Whereas this lamp white, if you're looking for a white but just with cool undertones, that is the one for you. And then if you want something a little bit darker, I have to put these down, I don't have enough hands. If you want something a little bit darker than the lamp white, we could move on to sterling. So you can see that sterling is very similar in tone, very, very cool, still quite pale, but it's going to give you those grey feels, very, very cool pale grey. And then if you want to go even a tiny bit darker, I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but put them together. Then you've got Little Lamb, which I would say they are a family. They are all blue toned, blue undertones, but you've got the 3 shades from Lamp White, which is the palest sort of grey toned white, to Sterling, which is a very cool pale grey, to Little Lamb, which is a darker toned blue toned grey. Really, really beautiful. But I jumped ahead because we still have a few more pale ones, but I just think that those 3 are really harmonious. They're a little family. It's nice to put them together. So next up, I was going to show you Cobblestone. Now, Cobblestone is blooming genius colour. Real important addition to the range that Fusion added in the last colour edition. And it's just brilliant because so many of the greys are blue toned, they're cool, and they are great if you have got loads of warm natural light coming in and you want to cool your room down and make it less yellow. But if you have a very cold space and you want to warm it up, if you want to go with the sort of grey trend but you don't want it to be cool, you want it to still feel a bit cosy and warm, Cobblestone is a lovely pale grey, warm toned grey as opposed to these cool tones grey. You can see that looks very blue next to it, which is just a gorgeous, gorgeous colour. Really, really useful. I love that one. And I think I'm going to be painting something in that next week, actually. So that is a beautiful shade. You can see how these are all similar sort of tone, but, well, maybe not all because that's Lamp White is the palest one. You can see how Sterling and Cobblestone are a similar sort of tone, similar level of darkness, but the Cobblestone is much warmer and the Sterling is much paler. So that gives you 2 options there. And then if you want to start going a tiny little bit darker, you've got Pebble, which is a yummy shade, has the most amazing coverage, Pebble does. It says, a lovely humble grey, Pebble is a great standalone colour, but also works well with other warm tones, which explains that it is a little bit like Cobblestone. It's slightly warm in tone, but just a little bit darker. And then if we compare it to the Little Lamb that we had out a minute ago, you can see that bridges the gap between those. We've got our Sterling, our Pebble and our Little Lamb. Pebble is another sort of mid-tone, like your Sterling, but a bit warmer. So I would say, let's do a little comparison. I like to put them in little families. If you're looking for cool greys, your Lamp White and your Sterling are very pale and mid-toned, very pale. Lamp White is a white and Sterling is a pale grey. They're very cool toned, but they give you a light and a mid-tone. Whereas your Cobblestone and your Pebble do a similar job, but can you see how they are much warmer? You've got the pale version and the medium toned version, but they are much warmer in tone. They look slightly brown, whereas these look very blue when you put them next to each other. So let's run through. Again, we've got Lamp White and Sterling very cool, Cobblestone and Pebble a little bit warmer. Then now we are starting to move into the darker shades. So Little Lamb that I've already shown you sits bang in the middle. It isn't one of the dark shades like the blacks, but it isn't one of the pale shades. That is a really good mid-toned blue. And then we've got Soapstone is the next darkest one in the shade. Now Soapstone is really, really cool. Soapstone looks different in different lights. Sometimes it's a really fun colour. Sometimes it can look quite purple. Sometimes it can look very blue and very cool. As the light changes throughout the day, it's really, really sort of metameric how it changes in the light, which is really, really cool. So Soapstone is a beautiful shade. If you don't want slightly purple, red undertones, it's probably not the colour for you. Avoid it. And then next we have Ash. Ash is super duper popular. It is what it says. It's ash. It's a dark, deep charcoal. It's the colour of that cabinet behind me that I painted my display cabinet in, so that gives you a bit of an idea. Really popular, wonderful colour. And then because that was so popular and it's being used so much, Fusion like to give you options. Now you will not be able to see on screen, I don't know if you can, hopefully you can. They brought out cast iron, which is like ash, but just a little bit bronzer and warmer, a bit oily, so it looks like it's been a bit sort of industrial. Cast iron is a yummy shade that is fast becoming as popular as ash. People are choosing that one. Really yummy. And then you have finally coal black. If you want a true black, a nice crisp traditional classic black, then coal black is the black for you. So I hope that was helpful. As always, when I do these videos, these were all in a lovely order, and now I've mixed them up because we've been chatting through, but that just gives you an idea of the selection of greys that you have to choose from in the Fusion Mineral Paint range, all the way through from white, through the pale greys, the mid-tone greys, the darker charcoaly colours, all the way through to black. And you know what, that isn't even the end. We talked at the beginning about the fan deck and how there's recipes. I was looking before I started this video, and you'll see that these are the recipes in the back. There's some greys here. So if you wanted to purchase a fan deck to see these different tones, to see the recipes, I mean, let's pick one out randomly. Here, pick this one out, which is sort of quite a nice taupey grey. This is recipe number 3, called Warm Grey, and it is 1 tester of Midnight Blue mixed into a pint of Cathedral Taupe. In English money, a pint is a 500ml jar, a normal full-size jar. So that just gives you an idea. If you want some additional options, start mixing your colours together. If you want to be a bit Willy Wonka like me and just pour it in and see what happens and experiment and use your intuition, great. If you want to be a bit more controlled and a bit more organised and you want to be able to recreate your colours, then the recipes are great because you can recreate them over and over again because you know exactly what you've done. So there we go. That is all the greys in the range, and I've dipped a little bit into the potential of creating your own greys. So thank you for watching. I hope you found that helpful. As always, you're very welcome to message me through my website, through my Facebook page, my phone number's everywhere, on my van, on the website, on my Facebook page. Give me a call if you want to talk through projects, if you've got a chat. That's what I'm here for. I love talking about painting projects. So I hope that was helpful. Happy painting. There's all the other videos. As I've said, if you wanted some help picking blues or greens or reds or yellows or neutrals or metallics, you can find those other videos on my Facebook page, on my website and on YouTube. Lots of luck, guys. Happy painting. Bye.